Hello everyone, myself Dr. Jyoti Mandala. Welcome you all to the video lecture series on the course Shell Programming. So we are learning about how to write the script. So as part of that, we already learned about how to create, how to open the editor and how to type the, how we are going to save that after typing our commands and all. And also we learned like how to execute that one. As part of this, we also learned like how variables values can be initialized in the program and how the values can be initialized during the runtime. Like when you are executing your program, you want to ask the values. Now, as of now, we understood like in the shell script, we are going to include the these things like what called commands, and also we have understood different types of operators that are supported there. So we understood arithmetic operators are there, relational, bitwise operators, binary operators, and string operators are there. I hope you all are clear with those concepts. Now, as I already told you, like in the shell script, other than the commands and all, we also can include the programming features. Programming features like if you want to include the iterative statements or conditional selection statements or arrays or functions, those programming features can also be included in your script. Now in this lecture we'll see how can we include the control statements. Normally we learn like whenever we are writing any program, okay, so the program may be consisting like whenever we are writing any shell script, all the statements will be executed in a sequential fashion and the execution will be from top to bottom. That is what we understood, right? But if you want to change the flow of execution, like depending upon the condition, sometimes you want to execute or you don't want to execute the statements, or sometimes you want to have an option like the same set of statements you want to execute more than once. Like in such a case, whenever we want to have the control of statement, control the execution of the statements, then that means you want to control the flow of execution, then we can go with the control statement. The name itself is telling that one. So we'll see that one today. So let us first note down what are all the control statements we have, and after that we'll see, we'll have a deep discussion about individual statements. Okay, so first note down all of you, what is the use of these control statements. These are used to change, to control or to change the flow of execution. So the flow of execution can be like depending upon the condition, you may be executing that statement once, or that statement can be executed more than once. It depends. So considering these two, like one time you want to execute or you don't want to execute, or more than one time you want to execute, control statements are mainly categorized into two types. First type is called as selection statements and the second type is called as iterative statements. Okay, so we'll see that now. All right. So control statements are categorized into two types. First category is referred as selection statements. Okay, and the second category we have, it is considered as iterative statements. So iterative statements are also referred as loop statements. Okay. Alright, now what is the difference between the selection and iterative statements are? Selection statements will be selecting one statement or a block of statements where the chosen statements will be executed only once. Here the statements will be executed only once, but whereas here in the other case, once only the statements will be executed. Here in the iterative statements, we may have an option of executing the statements more than once. If you want to have an option of executing the statements more than once, depending upon the condition, then you can go with that one. So more than once, or one time also if you want, you can execute. It depends on that. Okay, more than once. So these things we'll see now. What are all the different types of operations we have as part of selection statements and iterative statements, we'll see. Okay, first note down all the things, all of you. As part of selection statements, we have if statement, and then we have the one more, it is switch statement, but as part of in shell scripting, it is called as case. Okay, so it is an exact replica of the switch statement in the other programming languages like C and Java. Alright, coming to the iterative statements, we have, note down all of you, we'll see while, and we have an option of until. Okay, we have for, and we have select. Alright, select. So these are all the different types of control statements we have: if, case, while, until, for, and select. Okay, so let us have a discussion about in each and individual thing. So what we'll do is, first we'll start with the first type of iterative statement, first type of selection statement, that is if. So keep your heading, all of you, if. So we'll start with the if first, okay, under selection statement. So keep your heading, all of you, if statement. Now if is nothing but it is again categorized into four more types. Okay, so let us highlight all those 4 types and we'll see one by one. First type is if, simple if. It is named as simple if. Let us see about simple if first, okay, and then we'll see all the other 4 types. Okay, first one is simple if. Simple if is nothing but, here in simple if what happens is we will be having if, and under that if we will be having the condition, and if the condition satisfies, then under that whatever statements we have, that will be executed. Okay, so I'll write down the syntax first, then it will be very clear to you all. So note down the syntax, all of you. We will have if, always remember there should be a space here, okay, and then angle brackets, space, and then you need to write down the condition, okay, and then space, bracket. After that you need to write then, okay, and then you need to write down the statements whatever we want to execute. Understand, here statements can be one statement or more than one statement. Now once all these things are done, then how can we tell like this is the end of the if statement? We can simply write the reverse of if, that is F5. Like I think you can remember in C and Java we used to write flower braces like this, and if it is the end of that one we used to write closing flower brace. But in shell scripting it is not the case. We are going to tell like this is the end of the if by writing the reverse of if, that is Fi. So from here to here it will be considered as that particular if block. Okay, now here the condition, when it will check the condition, whenever the condition is true, then only the statements will be executed. Alright, so that is what we need to do. I hope you all are understanding. So if the condition is true, then only the statements will be executed. If the condition is false, simply skip those statements and they will not be executed. Now understanding this one, let me take one example where I want to read your name, and if that name is equal to, let us consider my name itself. If the name given is my name, then I will be telling like welcome. Okay, that's it. So that simple example I want to write, but I will tell you one simple example here. Whenever you are using like whenever we are writing condition, it gives true or false, isn't it or not? So whenever you are giving true or false, we will be using relational operators and right, like that. So relational operators if you are using, then you need to be more careful here. One point I want to tell, what is that is, all of you make a note of that one. If I want to talk about these brackets whatever we are using. Okay, this is very important, just make a note of this one, all of you. Suppose if you are using in the integer case, if you are using I told you, while learning about the operators, we have a different as part of relational operators we have different categories, like some will be supported by bash, some will be supported by SHL. Suppose if you are using -eq stands for equal, okay, -ne stands for not equal, Okay, these things we learned. Hyphen GT stands for greater than. Hyphen LT stands for less than. Hyphen LGE stands for greater than or equal to. Hyphen LE stands for less than or equal to. Now suppose if you want to use any operator like this, or I told you we already have operators like this. What are they? Less than, okay, less than or equal to, or if you want to use these operators, greater than or equal to, then what we need to do? Okay, understand clearly, I will tell you what to do. Also we have string operations also, isn't it or not? So as part of string, like whenever we want to do operations on strings, so whenever you want to do string operations, like what are all the string operations we have? We have these string operations, right? What are they? Equal to, double equal to, not equal to, and also we have these operations. What are they? Less than, okay, and with strings also we can do this, greater than, and okay, if you have these operations, and then what type of brackets we need to use here? I want to talk about this one. If I told you, here I have mentioned angle brackets, but there may be a chance like sometimes we need to use the parenthesis also. Now here you need to understand, if whenever you are using this type of operators like this, one second. This one, whenever you are using the operators like this, I don't know why, what happened. It's okay. Okay, what we'll do, whenever you want to work with these type of operators like this, these operators, then what you need to do, you need to use like this. If with angle brackets you need to use. That means the condition, let us consider one condition like $A, like means A value you want to compare with B value, then is equal to or not you want to check, then you need to write like this, $B. Got it? So you need to write like this. Whenever you are using these type of operations, you need to use angle brackets. But suppose sometimes if you are using these type of operators, okay, at that case, at that time you need to use these one, parenthesis like this, if space, two parentheses need to be used, and then write down $A. Suppose if you are using less than, then less than space $B. I hope you all are understanding what you need to do. If you are using these type of operators, then you need to use angle brackets. If you are using these type of operators, you need to use parenthesis. This is must. You need to follow this syntax. Coming to string, if you are using these type of operators, then you need to use square bracket like if, okay, square bracket $A is equal to $B. Okay, square bracket we need to use. Suppose if you are using this type of operator, no, then you need to use, if you are using this type of operator, then you need to use flower braces. Okay, not flower braces, sorry, parenthesis. If space parenthesis like this, $A, okay, less than $B. Got it, all of you? So this is what you need to remember, these things. Always remember, if you are working with these things, you need to use this one. If you are working with these things, you need to use parenthesis, double parenthesis. If you are working with strings with these operators, you need to use these things, and that is square brackets, and for this you need to use parentheses. I hope this is clear. So this is very important, just make a note of this one all of you, because using this we are going to write down the examples. Okay, alright. Now what we'll do, coming back to the if statement. So now what I want to do is I want to compare what I want to compare, I want to check whether the given name is my name or not. Okay, using the if condition. So let us go to our terminal. Now in the terminal, so I have already opened one file, and that file name I have given first.sh. So let me write down the code first. Always it is a good practice to have a shebang. Okay, I think in detail about shebang we already learned. So shebang is very important, like it is recommended to have the shebang. About shebang we already learned. Right, now what I'll do, I'll ask the user to write one string. So for that I'm using a command called read, and I have given one prompt message, enter name. Okay, and that prompt message I want to store that value in n. Now this n I want to check. Okay, so how can I check this one? Using the if statement. Okay, if I want to do that one. So if, okay, space, and then I want to check $n. Understand, here space is required. I'll show you one thing. If for the string, if you are using, see, for strings I want to check, no, for strings if you are checking, then you need to use this one angle brackets, isn't it or not? So I am writing the same thing. If $n, angle brackets only I need to use. So $n is equal to, I am checking with what is that? I am checking with my name. Okay, and then angle brackets. Then I need to do with, then I want to just print echo hello. Okay, and then simply how we can write down the end F5. Got it? The program is pretty simple. Just I am asking the user to enter the name. If the name is equal to this one, then I am going to print hello. That's it. So how can we run this program? You all know the command to run this program. This is what. So now I don't know. I did not save this program. So I need to save this. Then only I can run this one. This is what the output displayed by for the earlier output. Okay. Now it is asking me the name. So if I give name, okay, then did you see? As the condition is true, the output got displayed. Got it? So this is simple example. Now this code can also be modified in the other way, where instead of writing if then in two different statements, you can combine like this also, where you can put a semicolon here and then can be written here. Got it? If you can write semicolon and then can be written here, same, both will be working same. Did you see? If I give another value, just in case if I give this one, the value will not be displayed. That means the hello will not be displayed. Why? Because the condition becomes false. The condition is false now. Got it? This is simple if. The only thing is with the other programming language, the syntax is different, but the way that is working is same. Got it? So this is if. Now let us see, this is simple if. Now let us see the second type, that is if else. If else is nothing but you want to have an alternate for the what is that one, else part also. That means whenever we are getting the false condition, then also you want to have one option for that one. So for that, what you can do, the second option we need to see. The second option syntax is like this. First note down the name of that one, that is if else. If else. Now in if else what happens? I think you all are familiar with the syntax of for the traditional programming languages like C and Java, but here the syntax is a little bit different. I'll show you how to write down the syntax. Okay, so note down the syntax is you need to write down the if condition first, similar like your this one. Okay, if space and then angle bracket or double parenthesis, whatever it may be, it depends upon the type of operator you are using, and then write down the condition okay, and then bracket. Then you need to write the statements whenever the condition becomes true, okay. And then if the condition is false, in that case you need to add a new block that is called as else block. So these statements, whatever I am writing, those statements will be executed in case of false. Now here you need to tell the end of the statement. How to tell the end of the statement? F5. Got it? This is if else, where you have the condition true means these statements will be executed. If the condition is false, these statements will be executed. Let us see the example. Same program. If I have written, now I want to add the else part. Now in the else part I want to display just echo meet you next time. This is the output I want to have, okay. Then if the given string is Jyoti, then only this hello will be displayed. If the given string is not Jyoti, in the earlier case nothing is displayed, but if you want to have an alternate for that one, you can go with this, okay. Let me save this program first. Then if I give Jyoti, then hello will be displayed because the condition is true. Suppose if I give another string, then as the condition become false, the name is not matching with the Jyoti, it will go to the else part. I got meet you next time. Got it? So this is how. If else, if this block will be for true case and this block will be for the else part. You can have more than one statement also, no issue in that. Alright, so this is about if else. Now we'll see the third type in the if, that is about nested if. Nested if. Note down all of you. Nested if. Now what is this nested if is? In the nested if, you may have an option of having if else combined with within the if, like one more if else in the if, okay. What is that? So the syntax will be like this. Just first note down the syntax all of you, so that it will be clear to you all. If, okay, are you following all of you? If space condition, the spacing and all is important, but the other places no, where I am writing this one, like I will show you here. The other places, here the spacing indentation is not important, but here wherever I am mentioning no, that there the space is important. Got it? This indentation is important for the Python programming language. Here for our readability I am writing like that, but even if you don't maintain that indentation also, it is okay, it will work. Now coming back here, if here in the then part you want to have one more if block, then you can have if, okay, condition 2. You can have, let me call this one as condition 1, okay, and then condition 2 can be written here. There you can have, then you write down the statements else, okay, else, then you write down the statements of this one. Then you need to close this if. You need to tell this if will be ending here, so you need to tell F5. Now coming back here, for this if you want, you can add one more, you can add else, and then write down the statements here, and finally you are going to tell this is the end of this F5. So let me highlight in a different way. This if will be ending here, okay, and this if is ending here. Hope you all are understanding, okay. So in a particular if block, if you have one more if, then it is called as nested if, Okay, so that means if this condition is true, then it will go inside this one and it will check the condition 2. If this condition 2 is true, then these statements will be executed. Suppose if this condition 2 is false, then these statements will be executed. But we can take third case where this condition itself, 1 is itself false, then the statements, it will go to the else part and the statements will be executed. Now the famous example for this one is finding the largest of 3 numbers. Okay, example, we'll see that one. Example, what is that example? Largest of 3 numbers. I hope you all know the logic for this one. Okay, so we'll see that one, largest of 3 numbers. Moving back to the program. Now what I'll do, I'll ask the user to enter 3 numbers. Enter number 1. I'll store it in A. I'll take the variables in A, B, C. Okay, and then I'll write on the same thing. Enter number 2 and I'll store it in B, and then I want to have enter number 3. I'll store it in C. Hope you all are clear now. Now I want to check the code for here. Now what is the code I want to write? It is if I'm using nested if. Okay, now if I'm checking $A, okay, is greater than $B. I'm not going to explain about the logic because you all are familiar with this logic, right? So I'm checking A and B first. If A is greater than B, then I want to do checking where I want to check, just the indentation is for our understanding. Okay, if I want to check as A is greater than B, I understood that. I want to check whether A is greater than C or not. Okay, so this code can be still optimized by using the relational operators also, but I'm using this one just to tell you this if else ladder, nested if else. Okay, $C. Then in that case what I need to do? Then what I need to do? I just want to have an echo statement saying echo, what I want to print? The biggest number. Okay, biggest number is $A. Up to now it is clear, but for this if we need to have an else part. What is this else part? It is A is larger than B, but A is not larger than C. In that case, obviously we have an option, we have concluded like echo biggest number is what is the biggest number? $C. Right, now this is the end of this if, so I'm gonna close this one, F5. Now coming to this if, I am going to write the else part where if A is greater than B, then if it is false, that means B is greater than A. Then in that case again I need to write one more else part. So but here if else if I am writing, then that comes under your fourth category, that is called as else if ladder. Okay, I'll show you that one. So fourth category here. Else if ladder. I'll write down the program for that one, but understand this one first. Else if ladder. Now what is this else if ladder? Else if ladder is nothing but exactly opposite to the nested if else, where you want to have the if else in the else part. Okay, now what we need to do for that one? The syntax is like this. Note down the syntax all of you first, and then we'll write down the complete code to find the largest of 3 numbers. Okay, so you will be having if space condition 1. Okay, and then if this condition is true, then I'm going to write down some statements. Okay, if this condition is false, that means I'm writing else, and in the else I want to have one more if. That means I want to have one more if condition 2. Are you understanding what I'm telling? Then I want to perform some statements. Now here you understand in script program scripting, shell scripting, this else if whatever I am mentioning, no, that can be replaced with a new keyword that is called as elif. Else if can be replaced with elif. So I'll write like this, elif. Okay, that means elif is nothing but else if. So you can understand this one is also called as elif. Okay, so elif condition 2, then condition the statements can be written. Again, if you don't want, if the condition is false, then if you want to end this one, no, you can simply write else. Okay, and then write down the statements. Got it? Here as many number of elifs you want. If in the then statement again, if you want to add one more condition elif, you can add that one also. No issue in that. Okay, got it? Now if you are using elif, no need to end the if statement, because it is not about, like, if we are not dividing that one. Okay, elif don't require any end statement. Now coming to this one, this if has to be closed, so that is f5. That means we are for this if. Okay, for this if you are writing end statement like this. I hope it is clear now. Now coming back to the same program, where in the else part I want to have the condition, right, in the program. Why? Because in the else part, as the a value is not larger than b, b is larger than a. That means b has to be compared with the c. So now what I can do in the else part, I need to add this one. What I can do, else if, instead of else if, I can write elif. Okay, what I can do, I want to check $b is greater than $c or what. Okay, now if that is the case, then what I want to print, I want to have an echo statement stating biggest number, sorry, it's a double quote, biggest number is $b. Else, what do you mean by else? B is greater than a, but it is not greater than c. At that case, what you need to do? It's an else of this one. In that case, what you need to do? Else echo print biggest number is $c. Got it? So this is the end of this one. Now we need to tell the end of this if. So f5. For this if, this is the end, f5. Got it? I hope this code is clear to you all. Got it? So if this condition is true, it will go here and it will execute this part. Else, if the condition is false, it will go here and check this condition, and this block it will be checking. Okay, so let us run this program and see whether we are getting the output or not. Save this, Control L, and first one, it is asking the number 2, second number I am giving 3, third number I am giving 4. So did you see the biggest number we got is 4. We'll see the other test case. 4, 3, 2. 4, we got 4 again. A value got big. Okay, we'll see the other case. 2, 4, 3. We got 4. Okay, all three cases are working perfectly. Wherever A value, if it is bigger, that is displayed. B value, if it is bigger, that is displayed. C value, if it is bigger, that is also displayed. So here you understand we have used two options, that is nested if and elif also we have used. So third option and fourth option we have used here. Got it? So this is how about in detail about if statement. Okay, now in the next class we'll see about the case statement. I hope you all are clear with this if statement, 4 types. Okay, here you need to remember this block, the right hand side, this table you need to remember. The way what type of operator you are using depends upon depending on that, angle bracket or parenthesis need to be used. Alright then, so let us all meet in the next lecture. Until then, thank you all of you.